Today I wanted to take a look at something that I think is going to be pretty interesting and might be the future for how a lot of us approach packaging in Python. And that is the tool UV. So this comes from the Astral group. If you're not already familiar with them, you may have heard of their tool Ruff, which is what a lot of people, including myself and my team, have moved to for flaking and linting our code base, as well as actually switching from black for formatting to rough for formatting as well, although there's some slight differences between the two. So they're saying a number of things in this blog that I'm really a fan of. One important part of this for the future is it looks like they're going to be taking over what Armin started with his Rye project, which is heavily inspired by Ruff's Cargo. And it looks like this is where they're trying to take UV in the future. But for now, they have a limited set of tools that they've exposed through UV, which we'll be taking a look at today. Moving down a little bit in the blog, we see they give some performance numbers comparing UV to some popular package management tools. And it looks like with their resolver, they're coming in very fast, but we'll test that. So the current implementation is designed to be a drop-in replacement for both PIP and PIP tools. Now, I don't use PIP tools all that much, but I do use PIP on a near daily basis because I do a lot of virtual environment creation and deletion. And if this goes well, we may also switch to UV in our CI environment because installation of all the dependencies for our projects does take a considerable amount of time. So it could do things like speeding up our container image builds. I'll skip through a lot of the details that they have on the site here and go down to the installation portion. Now, I've already installed this locally and actually installed my version with pip. However, you can do a curl bash execution or alternatively install with PowerShell for Windows or even pipx. So the first thing we're going to touch on before getting into the pip part is its handling of virtual environments. And they're making some strong claims about performance here. So let's test that now. Okay, on the left, we're going to have our traditional tooling. So this is going to be using Python for virtual environment creation, as well as pip for package management. And on the right, we're going to be using UV. So let's test the performance of creating a new virtual environment, just called .venv here in this directory. And we see that took a little bit over 2 seconds. Not too bad. Now for UV, we'll be using the venv subcommand for virtual environment creation. And since .venv is the default here, we can just say UV venv and it will create it then. And they weren't lying. This took just 9 milliseconds compared to over 2 seconds for Pythons. So yes, significantly faster. Another interesting thing here is that you can specify a specific Python version to run, assuming it's installed on your system, as well as seed some initial packages into that environment. I believe right now these seed packages are pretty limited, and I'm hoping that in the future they'll allow you to configure default seed packages. For instance, I install IPython in pretty much every virtual environment that I use. Okay, now that both environments have been created, I'll activate them and we'll continue with the installation tests. So let's start out with a pretty basic test, which is just installing something like the request package. And since it's likely cached in pip, we'll go ahead and turn that off. It took pip just under 2 seconds at 1.845. And we'll do the same thing for UV. Now this doesn't have any cache currently, so we don't have to worry about explicitly disallowing the cache, which you can do if you want to. And that is almost exactly 10 times faster. Also, the output between these two are significantly different. So pip on the left has historically been very verbose and at times a little bit unreadable. But when things go wrong, it is helpful to see all the information that pip does output. But for when things work correctly, UV here on the right side is significantly cleaner, especially in the way that it presents the packages and the versions that have been installed on each. Comparing pip's list on the left compared to UV on the right, I'm definitely preferring UV here. Okay, now let's try a bit more of a challenging test for both of these. And this is going to be installing PyTorch. So let's give pip its chance on the left. And a good amount of this initial step is just downloading a package itself. So I'm not sure how much UV can improve upon that, but we'll find out. Okay, so that took pip 56.462 seconds. Now for UV, we'll just clean its cache to make sure that it has nothing that it's going to be using. And we'll do the same. Installing the CPU version of PyTorch. And here we run into one of the issues with using UV, at least in production for now. We're unable to install PyTorch using UV. And here we're seeing a lot of complaints about different Torch audio versions and a pretty nasty list of basically the same complaint about different Torch audio versions. So I think they can definitely improve the user experience here instead of repeating it constantly across all versions. Maybe they could collapse these into just a range of versions, saying that Torch audio, this version through this version is unusable because no wheels are available, instead of dumping it all. But in this case, PIP is going to win out because it's actually able to install it. Okay, let's move over to a couple of other cases. Okay, so for this, we're in one of my work repos, and I want to see how long it takes for both PIP and UV to install the requirements in our requirements.txt file, because I know it's quite a few, and we do have a complex mix of requirements specified. So let's see how UV handles it compared to PIP. Okay, that was a lot of dependencies to install, and it shows because that took 2 minutes and 47 seconds to install. So let's see if UV is able to improve on that. If so, then this is looking like a great switch for our CI pipelines, both in our production environment as well as in GitHub Actions. And right away we get an error message because UV is significantly more picky than PIP is when it comes to specifying requirements. If we look here on the left at the lines in question, it's wanting us to put the package name at and then the URL that we're specifying here. So I'll go ahead and make those changes and try again. Okay, we'll save that and try again with UV. And this time it's complaining not for a direct dependency, but for an indirect dependency. And in my opinion, this fails the test. Because even though this repository that it's depending on is controlled by me, that may not always be the case. So in this round, under these conditions, PIP wins again because it's able to actually install the project. But for the sake of just comparing the speed of installing these in general, what I'll do, and this isn't a direct comparison, is to comment out this dependency that's causing the issue and install all others except for this dependency. Okay, we'll switch back over to UV and clean the cache. And we'll try to install one more time and see how it goes. Okay, no immediate complaints. And now it looks like it's doing its resolution. And it's interesting to see it try to resolve different versions of the dependencies. Right now it's having a difficult time resolving Bodo core, making sure it doesn't conflict with any other packages. So we'll let this run, see how long it takes, and come back when it's done. Okay, and here we don't really see any performance improvements. It took a long time for its resolver to finally settle on package versions, and that's even with one top level dependency missing. So in this case, I consider this performance-wise a wash between the two, and since the PIP version just worked, I'm gonna call it a win for PIP. So my final thoughts for this right now are that it looks really promising in the long term, but for the short term, this just isn't production ready yet. There's a good chance I'm going to switch to using UV for virtual environment creation and maybe even for installing basic packages. However, I'm still going to use PIP for installing everything else, and we're certainly not going to be switching to UV in the near future until these issues are resolved in any type of production environment. Now, the team itself does note some limitations here, namely that they don't support egg dependencies, which is likely the issue we saw when trying to install PyTorch, and there are a number of issues filed against the project itself. One of those issues being the major block for our team is this one, which I'll be checking in on from time to time. But again, like I said, this is a very new project, so it has some growing pains to get through, but I'm really hopeful to see where this is going to go in the future. The team itself is really focused on improving tooling within the Python environment, and moving on with being a successor for the Ruff project. This is likely going to result in quite a bit of standardization between Python projects. If anything significant changes, such as new features, then I may make a follow-up video, but until then, thanks for watching.